You are supposed to be paid from that.
That money went to, yeah.
But I think the information you can get, Chair, because I understand the argument and I can see there's concurrence. Also, look at just the statements, the bank statements in that period about the amount of money paid out from the county. You can be able to get that. We can provide that. So CBK and you'll see. One thing, for instance, Chair, that I'd like to just bring to your attention. Every year, on top of avoiding this, there's supposed to be refreshing of IFMIS users. That all users on IFMIS are removed, and then new ones are assigned. I found 2,000 users on IFMIS. Chair, 2,000. 2,000 what? 2,400 IFMIS users. For Nairobi County.
Yes, even dead people.
Even dead people who've moved. And so I removed all of them. Just this last financial year, so that every sector can have the specific number required with the different stages. But you can imagine 2,400 users. And that time, you remember, procurement was also manual. So procurement is manual. You have all these users hanging around in cyber saying, wacha nikufinyie, payment yako, That is why I left this Senate to go to become governor of Nairobi, to sort out these things. Because that was the situation. You cannot have all those users. Somebody can create a procurement process from scratch. At River Road, get an LPO, you create even things that are not even on budget. Until the delivery note is done. Today, we're on e-procurement. Everything from the beginning to the end has to go through that process. And if there must be an exemption, in situations where you need to do it manually, it must be approved in cabinet.
Governor, let's leave it there. I think we've got a live matter that the EACC, and I think it's in court, must have been in Kilifi, where the persons with rights to the system created transactions and made payments in the middle of the night because of unfettered rights in the system. So there must be a conversation around that, using the Kilifi case as an example and the Nairobi case. So I think members will have to deliberate on this and maybe come up with some proactive recommendations. The next one is irregularities in procurement of transferred services.
Yes, so that is not close to new. On that one, there's a question that Treasury must answer. Because automatically they should remove these users. What was happening with Nairobi?
No, we come to that. We agree with you. And that's why I said there's something for AJAABU to do, something for Treasury to do, and something for the county to do. The next issue is irregularities in procurement of transferred services. And I think the key question the Auditor General is asking is that while health was transferred, the county still made an award for supply of drugs for 75 million to 2 companies, but the supporting documents have not been provided. Governor, your response on record does not answer the query by the Auditor General. You are saying it was a pending bill to KEMSA incurred by Nairobi City County. Give us the details of what was supplied. Give us the details of the invoices. Give us the details of the payment vouchers. Otherwise, we will say that this money of 75.9 million was stolen.
CFO?
Chairman, we tried sourcing for support documentation on the payments cited by the auditors, but we could not, these documentations were not availed to us, and therefore we will leave this matter to the committee for
9 million under the guise of medical supplies, and we shall be asking the EACC to be with us on this so that this money is recovered. Dr. Munywa?
Allow me to explain this. It is not upon the committee to declare a loss. Financial loss is supposed to be declared by the user department, the county government in this case, so that they are themselves who are supposed to initiate recovery of that money and declaration of loss, so that if they cannot be able to recover the cost entirely, PFM is very clear. They should look for the person who occasioned it through the security agencies.
I agree with you, Daktari. We shall direct the county executive to take measures to recover the lost funds. I think that's how we should frame it. It is a county executive to take measures for recovery. The same way we said for the NHIF insurance payment. It is upon them to initiate. I think I don't want us to go into the next issue is misallocation of expenditure and reconciled bank balances, outstanding interest, account payables, deposits and retentions. May I ask, Governor, whether the signatory to these financial statements, Martha Wambugo, is still in the county executive?
Yes, yes, Chair.
Is Martha present?
No, not only is she still in the executive, she's right behind me.
Martha Wambugo, you are a member of ISPAC. Just give her the microphone.
Yes, Chair. I'm a member of ISPAC.
For how many years have your financial statements attracted an adverse opinion?
For the last, since the county government started.
Have you been signing the financial statements during that duration?
For a period of 2 years.
For the 3 years, what has been your score?
Adverse and disclaimer.
So would you sit proudly before the Senate with that kind of verdict?
No, Chairman, we are not proud of that, but we are working towards getting a favorable opinion from our
You
auditors.
have a professional responsibility.
Yes,
a
Chair.
professional responsibility that is personal. It is not about who was governor then. It is not about who was CC then. You, as a member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants, member number 5435, you have signed financial statements for 3 consecutive financial years, which have either been disclaimed or been rendered to be adverse. Why do you think you should be trusted to manage public resources?
Thank you, Chair. As a member of the Institute and with my team members, we've been doing our best to provide financial statements as required. But given the circumstances, some of the issues have not been supported, so the auditors have come up with that opinion due to unsupported transactions. But in the preparation of the accounts, we have done our best.
When you sign off the financial statements and you have numbers in that financial statement, where do the numbers come from? Aren't they supposed to come from supporting schedules and payment details?
Thank you, Chair. They do. They come from IFMIS, they come from the sectors. But at the point the auditor comes to verify these things, some of these things are not provided by the sectors. That is the main problem.
So why would
Chair.
you report something that is not supported?
We report as per the transactions recorded in our books, in our IFMIS system. But the actual documentation, sometimes to support these transactions, is not availed to the auditors.
Whose responsibility is it to avail them?
It is the responsibility of Finance and County Treasury to avail them from the sectors. So the sector accountants and the chief officers of the sectors, we are tasked with compiling the reports. So we require the sectors to support us, to give us the documentation.
Why are you required to sign these financial statements?
Thank you, Chair. As a member of the Institute, as a qualified accountant, that is why I signed these financial statements and also as a holder of that office.
What does your signature mean on these financial statements?
Yes, Chair.
No, I want you to say it. What does your signature mean?
We take responsibility.
So you can't tell us about sector accountants.
Statements.
You can't tell us about other people. It is you as a professional who must take responsibility. And if you do not agree with the numbers they are giving you, you do not sign. Because as a professional, you cannot sign something that is not accurate. Why should we not refer you to the Institute for Disciplinary Action alongside the others who have gotten adverse opinions?
Thank you, Chair. As I said before, as a sector, as the finance sector and the county treasury, we compile the figures from sectors, from the state, from the IFMIS and our vote books. Then we demand the supporting schedules from the sectors. And the best we get is what we prepare for the auditors to look at.
You are accounting like IBC,
Yeah.
where Chebukati signs things at Bomas, then he says go and blame the returning officer in the county. That's a sham we have seen in our elections. We cannot accept that from professionals.
Can I ask, Chair, you spoke of circumstances. Which years have you signed?
2021 and 2022.
What circumstances were prevailing at that time that would make you sign documents that would put you in problems with my chair?
When we prepare these financial statements, Chair, we prepare them with the best information we have received from sectors. As County Treasury, we compile the statements from all sectors.
So if every department brings you documents that you
Yes.
can clearly see forgeries, they don't make sense, what is your responsibility as a person who signs off on those accounts?
Thank you, Chair. Our responsibility is to confirm the information we get from sectors. And what we have confirmed is what we put on the financial statements.
So everything there you have confirmed?
From the sectors, yes.
It sounded like Chebukati.
Excuse me,
I
Chair.
can actually see his face, Chair.
Chair, for me, this is what is wrong with our systems. This is wrong. This is the reason why devolution is dying. You ain't brave enough not to do your job. You ain't brave enough to stand up to the stealing that goes on. All right? The governor was not there. You guys were the custodians. Sasa umebeba mkia. That is where we are. And we are not going to fall back on these issues. Because you can't bring documents here which mean nothing to us. And then you assume all of us are dunderheads. We know nothing, we see nothing. Who are you protecting? This is where we are. We are really feeling frustrated. And yet you look like you know what you're doing. You sound like you're well schooled. Imagine, I just feel like you throw away the water with the baby.
Senator Cherarke.
Maybe Auditor General, you have finished 22-23. How does it look like through the chair? 22-23.
What was your opinion?
Chair, the opinion is adverse.
Again.
And again, it's the gracious lady who signed the financial statements.
No, Chair.
Who signed this time round? Governor, you may want to tell us who signed the financial statements for 22-23?
Joseph Gadiaka.
We are going to crack very hard on professionals who have the responsibility of doing the right thing. And they don't do the right thing and they assume it's business as usual.
Yeah,
You have seen what has happened in your county assembly, and we are seeing the same kind of situation in the county executive. And again, Governor, he does not have to take the Senate to talk to your staff. I mean, you should shield them by making sure that you take administrative action or training, so that when you come here, you are telling us, you know, we had some problems, but I've already asked the Treasury to train my people, and so there's going to be an improvement. But we are not going to allow them to hide behind the governors. If you've got a professional responsibility, accounting, HR, procurement, we shall come for you directly through your professional body.
Can I?
Chair, it is not finished. Maybe before the governor speaks, Madam Mother Wambugu, you are aware if this was a private sector, this has to have formed the ground for your sacking or firing from the entity. Are you aware when you get adverse? I think it's only in public sector where you are rewarded. Are you aware of the implication of adverse opinion?
I am, Senator.
Yeah?
I am aware, Senator.
Okay.
Chair.
Governor, what are you doing, internally? You've had disclaimers since the onset of devolution, and then it has gone to adverse opinions, and your first year in office, it's still an adverse opinion. What are you doing? What's the conversation on capacity?
Chair, thank you. Thank you. Chair, this is why I am the governor of Nairobi now. From 2013 to 2018, 13-14 financial year, 14-15, 15-16, 16-17, 17-18, and 18-19, Nairobi County got disclaimer, opinion. Yeah? That, it was just terrible, completely. And you remember, this is coming from the council, then the first county government. So 13-14 to 18-19 was disclaimer. From 1920 up until now, it has been adverse. The things were, and that is why we took the bull by the horns to go for this position, to say, okay, look, what is the systemic problem? For you to have an adverse opinion, there are many things that are carried forward over the years. The story on pending bills will always be in every audit report. There are things that are carried along that you need to find closure with the Office of the Auditor General for it to move. In fact, it is in this time that Nairobi has gotten its first ever qualified opinion on anything. That is the liquor, the alcoholic drinks, the liquor board. The report for 2023 is qualified. Chair, those are the improvements that we are making in the city. You can't imagine that would have come in after 6 years of disclaimer and then adverse, that I would just come and wave a magic wand and suddenly it becomes qualified. The improvements we're making, for instance, I've told you about the IFMIS users that we are having. I've told you about e-procurement. Using the revenue reporting modules that are on IFMIS, modules that have never been used. If you have time, we can take you through exactly what we are doing to improve, to make sure now the next financial year becomes better. Of course, the first one, when you get in, you find it's the same people doing the same things, carrying on the same issues. Those changes are made as you progress. The chief officer, for instance, became chief officer in February of 2002-2003 financial year. There was a chief officer before that. There was an entire structure before that. We've been doing trainings. We're talking to these professionals. We're paying for them the continuous professional development. So I think in a matter of time, because it is one thing to really want it to change immediately, but the practicality of it, the magnitude of issues that we deal with in the county, and I would even allow my chief officer to speak about some of the improvements we're making. It takes more than 19 months, Chair. And I'm sure even the next audit will start looking better. If we already moved qualified, by the time we're done, we will have an unqualified report, Chair, possibly even in the next 2 financial years. I'm the one who proposed, Chair, something that also the Auditor General took up, the reporting matrix on implementation of audit requirements. And they took it up and said, look, this is a template that they want to actually have counties developing. Because the reason for audit is to improve systems. The reason for audit is to see where there are loopholes that could be used by those with bad intentions, and how you close those audits, whether it's a system audit, the financial audit. And that is why I said that matrix for implementation of audit proposals needs to be filled internally by ourselves. Before I came in, Chair, even the internal audit committee was not there. I was able to constitute it. I was able to resource the office of internal audit. They were not being listened to. In fact, many of them, when they came to my office, they said it is their first time to enter that office. These are people who've been there from the time they were mayors. They've been there. They've never seen the office of a mayor or a governor. But these people I'm working with every single day. So it's a process. I can see the progress. It might take a while to catch up in terms of the reporting, but the Office of the Auditor General can confirm to you that there are serious improvements in a lot of these issues. And maybe that's why many people in different quarters are not happy. When you remove all those users, when you remove the people of Hewa who are used to getting 150 million or some of these payments, we're saying are clearly unsupported to facilities we clearly don't know, they will not be happy with that, Chair. But we must do the right thing. And my team knows, and the professionals,
yes,
that I'm not carrying anyone's cross. Everyone will carry their own cross.
Thank you.
You have professional responsibility. Don't think that because the governor can explain his issues that you'll hide behind him. The other day I think at Osoti's committee when we were looking at this report on alcoholic drinks licensing, and I said, look, even if it means calling whoever was there then, who was protecting someone at that time, they must answer to it. And I've told them you should never be told to do the wrong thing by anyone, even invoking the name of the governor. So that progress, you know, if we were to get a session to look at implementation of audit proposals, how do you close an issue? An issue is unresolved. You said yes, it's unresolved. I've agreed it's unresolved. How do we close that issue? How do we, you know, bring closure to it so that we improve that system? You know, that is what then benefits.
Let me stop you there.
And helps account chair.
With this committee, we are naturally cynical because you have seen a lot of theft, and so sometimes, unless it is proven that it is not deliberate, we take a view that people are out to fleece the county governments, and professionals must take that responsibility. Now, I think looking at the time, we had said that issues to do with legal pending bills, issues to do with the 11 billion to NMS, we will have to call for a separate sitting. There could be a few issues here where we'll take the written responses, but there are some 2 projects here. I think let's go to the project on the project.
Excuse me, Chair.
12 point.
I believe under the standing orders we are past 5 o'clock.
The house rises at 6:30.
Okay.
So
okay.
we are still within time.
Thank you.
So let's go to delay in installation and commissioning of machines. Vice Chair, let's look at these 2 projects, the printing press and the weights and measures equipment at Marikiti. Printing press.